Good afternoon. My name is Joe Torsicolo, and welcome to Bear Therapy. Today we're going to continue our conversations on anxiety and how anxiety affects your life, and some things you can do to help jam the anxiety, to help get through it, help get over it. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. And in the past couple of videos, we've explored a couple of ways, most of them having to do with the physiology of your body. And it reminds me of a story. I ride a motorcycle. I ride a Harley Davidson, and a number of years ago, I was having problems with the tail light of my motorcycle, and I just couldn't figure out, how to get in and get the thing done and get it fixed. I was going this way. I was going that way. It just wasn't working. So I call up a good friend of mine on the phone, and she comes over and she takes a look and goes, "Oh yeah, you just go like this." And as they say in Montreal, et voila, the problem was solved. And so that was really fascinating and a fascinating thing to think about when it comes to talking about anxiety and dealing with it. Sometimes we need some help outside of ourselves. A good mentor of mine once said that you can't fix the problem while being in the energy of the problem. So sometimes you just have to see someone else, and they'll help you out and help pull you out of the energy of the problem. So I want you to think also today, like, what is anxiety costing you? Well, how's it affecting your life? I know I mentioned this in a prior video, but how many days you got left to live? Well, given my age and given 365 days a year, I figured out I got 14, 15,000, maybe 16,000 days left. And what I've seen in many of my clients with anxiety is that anxiety keeps you from doing stuff. It keeps you from living the fullest life you can. So really, once again, the question is what's it costing you? Are you living your life full? Because you only have a limited number of days left. And hate to be morose, but in all seriousness, get on it. Do something for yourself. Take care of yourself. Um, so now, let's go to the three major areas within anxiety that we can leverage to help get us out of anxiety. Or some people could say, it might be three causal areas of anxiety. So the first one I want to talk about is our thoughts. And I had a client in today, and I was speaking with the client, and they kept coming back to the same thoughts over and over again. And those thoughts were provoking anxiety. Okay. I think many people with anxiety would be the first to tell you, yeah, I'm having these thoughts and I'm feeling these feelings. And it's something it's called a synesthesia, where something triggers it, but then you've got thoughts, boom, leading to feelings. And so part of the process when we're working with that is to jam that up a little bit. And in a couple of the prior videos, we had done that. One was looking up, of course, and that's just a reminder. And the other was the demonstration of what we call the angel's kiss, which I've gotten feedback from last week's video of that. And folks say it's been working out wonderfully for them. So I'm very, very, very happy about that. So where are your thoughts? What are you thinking about? And so as you're feeling anxiety, you may want to stop for a moment and say, what am I thinking? What am I thinking about? The other area, or another area, is your physiology. Now, your physiology, the way you hold your body, and most people don't realize this, is the way we hold our body, what we do with our body, whether we're standing straight and tall or we're slouched over as we're walking, has an influence on how we're feeling. It has an influence. It's linked to our thoughts. It's linked to our actions, and so physiology has a strong impact. So one of the things that I have people do is change your physiology when they're working on dealing with anxiety. Prime example: look up. Now that may be just a small part of your body that you're using to do that, but it's physiology nevertheless. In the last video, we remarked about a gentleman who would look down like this every time he was having unwanted feelings of anxiety. I had him look up here, couldn't do his anxiety anymore. And that was the fix. Crazy, isn't it? seems very, very strange. And then the final area I'll just briefly discuss today too is focus. So where is your focus? What are you focusing on? So imagine that you're in a dark room, or your life is that you're in a dark room, but you have a small pinpoint flashlight, and you're able to shine that anywhere you want. You can shine it on the good stuff. You can shine it on the bad stuff. You can shine it on the empowering stuff, or you can shine it on the scary stuff. And what I found is when working with anxiety, most people are shining it on the scary stuff. And so our minds really don't know the difference between real and make believe. And I do an interesting exercise with my clients that really points that out. But the fact of the matter is where your focus is, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So one of the other key areas that we'll work on with clients here is to work on, where's your focus? What are you focused on while you're doing the anxiety? And we help shift and we help change that focus. So, we come back to that main central theme. What is this costing you? And how is it affecting you? And are you willing to do something about that? I hope so, because a life well lived is a really good thing. And it's a thing of joy. And it will make a difference to all the people around you. You don't have to walk down this path anymore. So one of the things I'll ask you to, or I'll encourage you to do today is let's focus on the focus issue. If you're feeling anxiety, ask yourself, what am I focusing on? That's question number one. Question number two you'll ask yourself is, what can I focus on that will make me feel better? Simple process. Sometimes the simple processes are really the best processes of all. And so those are your two questions. What am I focusing on that's making me feel anxious? And the interesting thing about that, I'll add, is that sometimes it's not always so obvious. You could say, well, I'm just looking at the refrigerator. Well, if that's the trigger, that's the trigger. Don't try to figure out why. Just acknowledge that that's the trigger, and then go focus on some other area or some other thing that's going to bring you happiness, joy. Okay? So, I want to thank you for listening today, and also remind you that, and in a wonderful analogy I use as I help people out is, every day I come into the office and I tie a rope to a tree and lower myself down a cliff and reach out to someone and help lift them up a little. And the whole idea is that I'm in a different energy space than they are, and I help get them out of their feelings and their energy space. So I'd invite you to consider that, and if appropriate, give me a shout, because I can help you through this. Have an awesome day, and take care.